affiliates. Any ideas, thoughts, and opinions from the host and others are designed to inspire conversation only. This station holds no responsibility for the validity, accuracy, or inaccuracies of information on this show. All questions, comments, or concerns should be addressed directly to its host, Sinclair Nicholson. The Sinclair Show, coming up next.
Once again, it's on. You're listening to the only morning show when people
at night.
That's right. It is the Sinclair Show on WBISLP, Awesome Radio 106.9. It is the hottest station in the Carolinas where we are prime time, and the clock says it's 8:01. First, I want to thank all of you all who continue to send your mailbag questions and comments to sinclairtalk@outlook.com. We're going to continue to address as many as possible each night to reach you, the valued listener. The Sinclair Show is an interactive show. You can call in at any time at 252-756-2008 to what? Be a part of this conversation, people. All right, now, first of all, some of y'all in the Greenville area, and I know you're driving right now, you say Sinclair. Well, I don't want to miss a second of the show, but I'm almost home. I'm sitting in the driveway, and I can't go in the house and listen to it. Yes, you can. All you got to do is, if you got an Android phone, go to your apps location and download the Awesome Radio little tab. You'll see it. Once you click on it, give it a chance to upload, poof, you're going to magically be on air listening to. And hey, if you got the iPhone, don't worry about it. If you got Safari or Google Chrome, all you got to do is go there, type in www.wbisawesome.org. All right, hit the stream tab, give it a few seconds, and you're going to be listening to the same thing on your phone that you was listening to on the radio in your car. And you know what that is? Me. Doing it big. What did it do? All right. Now, some of y'all gonna say, well, Sinclair, I can't go in the house on my cell phone because I be accused by my significant other of doing dirt.
Okay.
So I don't want to be on my cell phone because it causes drama in my house. Don't worry about it. Here's another solution. All you got to do is get your laptop or go get on that big desktop, the one that you still got speakers, the ones that look like house speakers on it. All you have to do is go there. When you get there, type in www.wbisawesome.org on your internet provider. Man, y'all hear that traffic in the back? That's how y'all know this live, because we got like ambulances and everything going on. Mm-hmm. When you get there, poof, magically you listening. And for some of y'all, even that ain't enough. And I'm saying to myself, what more can a brother do to make y'all feel like you're right at home with me? Here's what you do. You got Facebook. Yes, the same Facebook where folks be in your DM, your direct messaging. Creeping along just to be talking to you, telling you stuff you ain't got no business. Let's use it for some good now. All you got to do is go to Facebook, type in The Sinclair Show. That's right. You see the little red heart behind me? Oh, y'all can't see it because you ain't there yet. But once you get there, you're going to see me. And it's going to be a little red heart. That's how you know it's the right one. And that heart is supposed to mean that I love y'all. But sometimes I ain't feeling y'all because y'all be coming with the foolishness. But I'm got broad shoulders, so I'm built for the foolery. Then I just make it go away. All right? Now, what I like to do is, if you're out there in radio land and you want me to give you a shout out or make your little itty bitty city turn into someplace special and big, all you got to do is call in 252-756-2008. Let me know who you are and what city you repping today. And I'm going to continue to talk about your city to make your city like my city, and then your city will be special too. Now, if you're out here on Facebook, I'd like to give you a shout out because y'all some extra milers, if you will. My Facebook crew, that means it's not just enough to hear it. You want to see it. Let me see who's out there. First person on tonight was my mama. Hey, mama, what you doing? You staying out of trouble, mama? I got to ask that question sometime. Then Susie Clark, glad to see you. Susie, you've been MIA on us for a while, but I'm glad to see you done came on home to the Sinclair Show. Then I see James Key. He's always watching. I think James Key need to find something to do because it seems like he everywhere, on the news, anything. All right, Valerie Strayhorn Harris, glad to see you. She's always lurking around too, keeping in with the show. We're going to give her a new title in a while. Diane Keys, she got them keys. You know what, Diane? I believe you done been with us for almost 2 years now. You've been rolling us for a minute. Then I see my armor bearer, S.S. Shepherd, what's going on? They must have crept out. And I hope you ain't in Bible study and listening to. Because I don't know if it's just 8 o'clock, so they might be out. You know, we got dedication people. Sometimes dedication go all the way to the church house. No problem. But anyway, people, anybody else you see on your end over there? Oh, matter of fact, you want to say anything to the people?
That'd be nice.
Oh, my bad.
Thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. It is a blessed day to be here. It is Tuesday, and I want to say a happy belated birthday to my mother, who celebrated her 66th on yesterday, and I am glad and blessed that she's here. And I know she's going to have a continued great year, but I just pray blessings over her life. I see Miss Doris Wilson Willoughby, who is also joining us tonight. We have a lot to talk about in this mailbag, so I'm going to give it right back to you.
Hold up, you said 66.
Yes.
I believe you said that last year, too.
No, I didn't.
People, sometimes, I ain't saying it's the case because I got to go back and check my memory bank, but I believe sometimes people be having the same age on their birthday every year.
Oh, wow.
I'm not saying...
So women, we sometimes don't age like you do, but, you know, she is 66.
Hold on. First of all, hey, fellas, who she thinks she talking to? Talking about women don't age like men do. Girl, you crazy. We talking about some wine around here. The better with age, that's the average man. The older we get, the better we roll. Okay. You around here talking about like we falling short on the winery. Courtney Barrow, what's going on? I'm glad somebody came in with some sense around. They're gonna try to make it seem like men get the short end of the stick on age.
We age differently, you guys.
Because I'm telling you now, I'm looking into Facebook and I still got some baby skin.
Baby skin.
Oh my God. See, some of y'all can't say that now. Look, as the pastor say, I'm closer to 50 than 40. So I know good and well that I got baby skin in my age bracket.
You said baby skin.
And I ain't got to go in there and pre-moisturize. This come natural.
Oh, wow.
We're going to have a talk about that one day on the show, like who aging differently.
Right.
Matter of fact, I feel some kind of way. James Key, what you think about that? When they trying to sit around and talk about men aging incorrectly, like we got bad skin or something. It ain't my fault if you know some dudes who maybe they was a little sheltered from the rain and elements and it didn't turn out right. I'm telling you, I got the regular water in my skin, not some of that stuff. Y'all see that right there? That's regular skin, good skin, baby skin. You know how like women, they be talking about they got baby hair? Jalen Ramsey traded to the Rams. Man, now who in the Sam Hill's ass James Key? That's why I told y'all got to keep an eye on James Key. He out here giving us football reports or whatever. We talking about do men got better skin than women? He out here talking about football reports. Anyway, let us not tarry on the skin because I will create a whole show for that.
Yes, you will.
See, James said we like wine and cheese. All right, see, that's what I'm talking about. Ladies, y'all better recognize something.
Okay, ladies.
Look at that. That's good skin, baby skin. You know, again, y'all remember like women be talking about they got baby hair. It really be grown folk hair that they be brushing to the side and ironing down. Y'all ever seen somebody with a regular iron on their hair? Mm-hmm. That's what they be trying to do. And then be calling it baby hair. I'm saying it's happened before.
Okay.
And then y'all gel it down and call it baby hair. This is real baby skin, baby soft skin. All right. Everybody say that with me one time. Say baby soft skin. It's okay. It ain't nothing wrong with having baby soft skin. You need to get you some too. Okay. Putting all them byproducts up there. They don't take nothing but hot water.
Who are we talking about?
Huh? I'm just talking about in general. Hot water. Okay. That's all it take right there. Same thing you came up with. Hot water. Mm-hmm. Okay. But anyway. Let me tell you what's been going on in the real world.
What we do have going on tonight is a Democratic, their debate.
Man, ain't nobody. Let me tell y'all something.
But you realize that we have three contenders, I'll say that are in their 70s. I mean, the top three are in
Hold
their
on,
70s.
don't be saying nothing about my senior citizens.
I'm just saying, though.
What that mean?
To me,
why you saying?
It means a lot to me.
Come on, tell us why you're saying.
Well, if you allow me.
Come on.
Well,
quickly.
a lot for us.
For us who?
Meaning the younger generation. These are the best that we have, and it does. I mean, really, the age gap. There's a big age gap. It doesn't show that a lot of us are doing a lot to be to where they are, and that's just my thoughts.
Hey, people, let me tell y'all.
I mean, the top three are over 70. That doesn't really do a lot for us.
Let me tell y'all something. Y'all know when a disclaimer comes up and it says the views of the show.
Well, yeah, those are yours, and that was mine. I said it was
right, because y'all
but
know
it's true.
Uncle Sinclair
But
love.
honestly, I wasn't saying anything about the.
I didn't say you
older
was.
ones. I'm just saying it doesn't say much for us.
Us who?
Meaning 60 and below.
Well, I'm just trying to say because I got baby skin. Anyway,
Stay off your baby skin.
just trying to say, you know, she throwing age. She throwing these age things around here. So I'm saying, as soon as I said something about baby skin, now we got to start talking about our more seasoned people. Courtney talking about they be dying on us. Hold on, people.
Right.
Oh, she said, agreed, need younger candidates.
Absolutely.
All right, first of all, let me say this to y'all, since we done brought the subject up. I'm not necessarily sure I concur with that thought, and here's why. Because, see, young folks under the age of, which age breaks? You said 60.
60 and below.
Let me tell you what I feel about 60 and below right now in this climate. They unstable a little bit, okay? Their attitudes is too quick. They do a little stuff, so you can't say something to a 55-year-old and they not be ready to, they still capable of putting paws on you.
So let me ask you this.
What?
Donald Trump, how old is he?
Donald Trump got to be in his 70s.
So therefore, you're talking about somebody who loses their temper, who quick to put their hands on him. That should
Who
be
Donald
him
Trump
too.
put his hands
But he
on?
would also
Them
talk
little bit of
that way.
hands he got.
Regardless, he
Them man
talks
hands
that
look
way.
like this people.
You got
He
all
got
three
little
of the
hands.
other ones who have been in so much confrontations on stage and off conversations.
What's the
they
point?
all do the same thing. I'm just saying, as a younger group, we need to put our minds focused on the country as well. I mean, this is the best that we have right now, and that really does not say a lot for us, to me.
Let me say this, people. Some of you will certainly agree, and I don't think it's anything wrong with having that perspective. Here's what I do believe, though. I believe that we have created generations that are so disconnected from the political process that in many cases, either they don't trust their own judgment or they are disinterested in the political climate. And when you're talking about being able to be competitive in these marketplaces, like, let's be fair. When we first started talking about this, we had Kamala Harris. What's the other guy's name? Cory Booker. A lot of these young guys.
You still have them in it.
Now, but here's what happened. They don't have no firepower out there. They don't know how to manage the political process because there's absolutely no reason. I've heard the views of a lot of these candidates, and many of them got real good views. But they don't know how to manage the situation. They don't know how to manage the space. They're doing too many things. When you running for president, you got to be focused. And when you're running against somebody that's orange, you got to be super focused. And so you got people who are long standing in that process. And I think what happens is if we want a better quality of candidate or somebody who is really capable of getting in there and competing, we've got to make a better process for getting young folks engaged, okay? Because we definitely don't have them engaged as much as they should be, you know? And matter of fact, it's funny that we're having this conversation because Camille and I didn't talk before the show about this, but I was in a meeting today, and it was from people from University of Chapel Hill. It was from North Carolina Central. It was a bunch of the college folks and community leaders who were talking about a lot of things going on and how it impacts us in less affluent areas, right? And one of the things that we talked about is the guidelines and the political input and votes and things that get cast in local areas that absolutely nobody is attending. And so if you're not attending these things, if you're not becoming a part of the process at your local level, it is impossible for us to be competitive at the higher levels because we don't know how to navigate through some of these little tricky waters. It would be ideal if we could get more young people involved, but it just doesn't seem like maybe we to blame. Maybe we're to blame because we done made politics such a negative thing that there is no interest in being in it. And so now we're left to the values and thought processes of those people. And to be honest with you right now, I ain't interested that much in watching some of these debates because there's too many of them. Do y'all see Democrat? I thought by now we normally would have it dwindle down to at least 3 or 4. You still got 10 people on stage.
Yeah, 12.
12 people on stage. That's a lot of people. Everybody ain't gonna get enough. And I don't want you to be wasting my time I want to know the 4 or 5 people that got the best opportunity. Let's find out what they going down with. And then when you know what they talking about, now you can make a decision based on one of them. Because we don't even know who they going to be running against. Because if they keep going like this, it might not be Mr. Orange himself. Because
may not be the vice president.
They trying to scurry him on up out of there. And I want to talk about that, but we got to take a sponsorship break. But let me tell y'all something. I ain't been proud of them Democrats in a long time because I'm independent. But I will tell you, they handling this little impeachment thing. They digging in the heels or whatever. But look, I'm going to talk to y'all about it briefly when we come back. This is Sinclair Show, WBISLP, Awesome Radio 106.9. It's the hottest station in the Carolinas. We'll be back. Courtney said they be dying.
Right, look at Bernie.
Why you keep picking on Bernie Burns?
I'm just saying, I mean, you know, he need to go and throw his support towards somebody else.
Why y'all putting Bernie in the casket already?
I'm not putting him in the casket, I'm putting him in a nursing home. Okay?
Wow.
I mean, he cannot deal with this pressure on his heart. And it is true pressure right now. You got Syria, you got Turkey, you got all this going on.
There go my cousin Sam Brown. What's going on, Sam? Glad to see you. We already been in the trenches tonight. Let me see who else. Frank C. Woods. That's the homie right there. See, all y'all ain't got homies that'll check out your show. He all the way from Georgia. Frank C. Woods.
All right.
Let me see who else we got. Carlinda Youngblood. Hey, glad to see you up here. Oh, we got some people just jumping on in. Did Courtney say bye, Bernie?
She said it, and I appreciate it.
Look here, Courtney. Y'all leave my boy Bernie alone. Bernie got just as much right to be out here in the game.
James said too many cooks for the soup. That's
yeah,
right.
But y'all ain't got to get rid of Bernie Burns.
Well, it's 9 of them that can go.
Now, I believe Bernie is, what, Bernie got about 30, what percentage of the vote he got right now?
First is Elizabeth, then it's Biden, then it is
Elizabeth who? Warren?
Yes, she's winning.
Hold on, let me tell y'all something.
Exactly him.
I'm going to say this before we get back on
and
this.
Everybody's 70 plus.
Let me tell y'all something. First of all, if y'all out there telling me y'all ride with Elizabeth Warren, ain't she the same one started telling everybody she was Indian? And then they say she got less than a drop of blood of Indian.
Absolutely.
Come on now, people.
She's hey, front runner, her and Biden, and then it comes Bernie.
Sam said he got 2% as of this morning. Hold on, people. Y'all tripping. You back on the Sinclair Show, WBISLP, Awesome Radio 106.9. It is the hottest station on the Carolinas where we're prime time. The clock says it is 8:18. People, we done already been having a deep discussion about what's going on in the politics of the day. But I want to let y'all out there in radio land know we got some people that done peeped in on us. I got my cousin Sam Brown is out there, Carlinda Youngblood. I see Frank C. Woods. The C is for always in competitive mode.
Okay.
Now let me see. Lisa Marie done joined us. What's going on, Lisa? Now let me tell y'all something before we go on and scurry on to these letters or whatever. But we were talking about how many candidates out there. And hold on, people. This is an urgent message. Detective Pamela Black is back in the house. What's going on, Pamela Black? But anyway, so people be talking about my boy Bernie talking about because he done had a little heart palpitations, if you will.
Palpitations.
They want to kick him out the game, right?
Serious.
Bernie been around there talking about do away with taxes, giving y'all reparations and everything else. Now y'all don't want to play with Bernie no more because he had a little heart problem. All they needed to do was take him a bare aspirin and he back in the game again. But y'all sitting around talking about Elizabeth Warren. Now, I'm not going against any candidate because I don't really care as long as we got somebody out there doing it because I'm an independent. But I will say this. I got a little bit of trouble trusting somebody who been riding around for years talking about she Indian and then she went. Now, listen, and let me tell you how dumb she was on this. And if that's your candidate, I ain't mad at you. But you got to understand, any $2 lawyer will tell you, you don't ever put yourself out there. If y'all recall last year, Elizabeth Warren let herself get talked into doing that DNA test. And she done came back with the DNA test and they talking about she got less than 1 drop of Indian blood in her body. And she run around, look, with the little feathers in her hat and all out in the Midwest talking about she ought to be getting the Indian vote. She ain't got nothing going on. I'm just saying, people, all I want y'all to do is, I don't care who you rolling with, but become a part of the process and look up all the candidates so you find somebody who got like views that you do. Whoever it is. See, when you're independent, you get to roll any way you want to roll. All right? How about that?
Okay.
You ready to get in the mailbag?
Yeah, we got a couple of deals.
Since you holding up all the letters in your hand and all that, go on do it.
Okay, well, this first one was kind of serious, I think.
Oh, my goodness. Why we always something serious? Go ahead.
Okay, Sinclair Show. I'm extremely mad about no sooner than we get one case against a irrational officer over with, then they attack, they are back at it again.
Okay.
This time they killed a woman again in Texas while she was in her own residence, not bothering anyone. What makes this ever even more difficult, or better yet worse, is that they immediately began to try to cover up, saying that he perceived a threat from the woman as they were looking through the window.
Peeping Tom.
Mind you, they were at her apartment. Here's what Fox 59 reports. Fort Worth officer shot woman in her own home as she played video games with nephew. 2 seconds after shouted commands outside a window of her house, a Fort Worth police officer opened fire into what looks like a dark room. Moments later, Atiana Jefferson died in the bedroom of her own home with her 8-year-old nephew nearby. Police have released 1 minute and 17 seconds of the officer's body camera footage leading up into the shooting. The video shows the officer approaching an entrance to the home where the screen door is closed, but the solid wood behind is wide open. The room inside is lit. The officer then walks around the house and approaches a window, shining a flashlight into what appears to be a dark room. Put your hands up, show me your hands, the officer screams. He does not identify himself as police. Within 2 seconds after starting his verbal commands, the officer fires a shot through the window while he's in the middle of saying, "Show me," for the second time. Sinclair.
Yes.
What are you and other media personalities going to do to stand up for this type of domestic terrorism against black people? How long before you all step up and step forward? Or does a cop have to come to your house and make you and your victims before it matters? Ain't it funny how we speak about a woman having a gun in her home? If they ain't ever even said that they were the police, most of us would get our gun and shoot if we see something or someone looking through our windows at 2 o'clock in the morning. Signed, Terrell.
Terrell, first of all, glad that you are listening to the show. We thank you for participating. First of all, let me just say this to you. I don't know why. Why? Y'all always got to try to ask me what I do in a situation and try to box me in the corner talking about as if we ain't doing nothing out here in media world. All right. Okay. First of all, let me recognize some people. I see. Let me see. Oh, April Grader, arch nemesis that came in. Johnny Keith, Jay Dizzle. What's going on? I see the world renowned is out there too. Let me say this, people. First of all, I'll start from the bottom up as I normally do.
Okay.
You don't have to try to spark some kind of confrontation with me by saying, when are we in the media platforms going to do something X, Y, Z? First of all, hold your horses, okay? First thing I like to do is I like to get the facts. Second thing I like to do is see what's happening already. Now, apparently this happened this weekend, right? Right. And if it happened this weekend, if I'm correct from my little basic research that I did, they already done arrested the officer.
He's posted bond, yes.
He's been fired from the job, and he's been arrested, and you say he posted bond?
He's posted bond.
All right. So apparently due process already in place. All right. Now, let's take it like this. The real thing that we got to begin with is, what are you all going to do? Okay. You're not holding at your local levels accountable. Okay. And this goes back to what I was saying from the start. If you're not a part of the process, many of these high level positions for sheriff and at the highest levels like that, those are elected positions.
Correct.
Okay. Now, we've heard too much about officers killing somebody, right? And I happen to personally believe it is a combination of having the wrong person. Okay, listen to what I'm about to say before you start jumping back. Having the wrong person who is able to make it through a police academy and then giving them a gun. The mental part of this is not whether or not you can pass a mental test.
That's right.
Because those mental tests aren't asking let's say a white officer. It's not asking them, what would you do in a situation? Would you be scared of XYZ? Most people, they're not even asking them, are you scary? Because that ain't even a regular question, right?
That's true.
But the problem is, you can't put people who are naturally nervous and have not had a lot of experience around certain people. Where do they put them at? Soon as you graduate up out the academy, they're going to put you in the highest crime areas because that's what needs the most police support. Make sense?
Yeah, it does.
But you taking somebody who may not have the mental wherewithal to be in that area with that kind of pressure, and you're putting them in an environment by which their mind is still acting like the mind of a civilian. Okay? A officer, a soldier, people who are trained and have long intensive trainings. Let me say this. You got people who can do, I think the police academy might be 6 weeks. And I'm going to check that out, but I think it's 6 weeks. You go to a police academy for 6 weeks, they give you a gun and a badge. Most of the time going to partner you with somebody and put you on the beat, right? Now, think about this. For military personnel, first, you got to go to basic training. Depending on what branch of service you in, you might be going from 8 weeks to 13 weeks. That's just for your basic training. That's to learn how to be a combat ready soldier. Then when you leave there, you're going to do anywhere from another 8 weeks to up to a year, depending on what your job title is going to be, of training called your advanced individual training. You tell me, matter of fact, I can make it even deeper. You tell me why you have to spend more time in cosmetology school than you do at the police academy. But you putting these people out here on the streets in communities, you don't know enough about a person in 6 weeks to tell me they capable of handling a high pressure situation. And I don't know how long these people been on the force because I haven't done that kind of research. But I need you to understand that our system is broken in terms of we have a critical need and we don't have enough people that's qualified to fill it. Hold on, we got to take a sponsorship break. Sinclair Show, WBISLP. We're going to be right back to get back into this.
Most veterans do not experience a mental health issue, but for those who do, these challenges can be especially
What's the time frame on?
areas where fewer
I'm
clinicians
looking at
practice.
Yeah.
This year, the Department of Veterans Affairs Office of Rural Health greatly expanded its innovative mental health programs and
Rhyme Precious, glad to see you. Yvonne Rouse, glad to see you. Come on in, people. Let's see what's going on.
As one veteran said,
Beverly Keith, man, I'm glad you done popped in. I was getting a little worried about where you might be hiding out tonight.
my name is Kennedy Ernest T. Reeves.
Let me look up some information, but I think it's 6
Here
weeks.
in the great city of Greenville, North Carolina. I ask you for your vote during the early voting period of October the 16th through November the 1st and on Election Day, November the 5th, 2019. I decided to run for city council because I love our city, the people, the different neighborhoods, and I want to make a difference. So let's work together to make
16 weeks of training
My name is Ernest T. Reeves.
in the state of North Carolina.
And I ask you to vote for me for Greenville City Council.
That's 4 months. 26 weeks.
26 weeks.
That's the Durham one,
Yeah.
but that's not all of them.
No, it's not.
All right, you back in this Sinclair Show, WBISLP, Awesome Radio 106.9. It is the hottest station in the Carolinas, prime time. We doing it big. First letter out the bag is talking about the officer that just gunned down a lady in her home over the weekend who was playing with her nephew, 2 o'clock in the morning. He looking through the window talking about put your hands up, pap, pap, shoots her twice. She's dead, he's arrested, out on bail, everybody's mad. We talking about how we get to this point, first of all right? Now, let me say this again. I stand corrected. I said it was 6 weeks. In North Carolina. and I'm reading it right now. North Carolina, the state of North Carolina requires only 16 weeks of training, but the Durham Police Academy is 26 weeks long and teaches more than what the state mandates.
And Edgecombe and Pitt is 20.
All right, so let me say this, people. I don't care how we look at it. 20 weeks, okay? And that's what, 5 months, right?
Yes, 5.
So 5 months, still less time at the police academy than you spend in cosmetology school, okay? You almost spending the same amount of time to get your CNA license that they getting the tote around the gun, okay? Now, give or take a few weeks, but I want you guys to understand that before we can just run out here and assess that we dealing with a bunch of racist people, because I'll be honest with you, I don't believe that's the case. I don't believe that the people that's out here gunning folks down is racist. I believe that they are unqualified to be in the roles that they are. Because you take somebody that you know nothing about, who is 9 times out of 10 either too gung-ho because they want to be a police officer, or they're too unemployed, so they're looking for a job, and the police officers are hiring because there's not enough of them. All right? And you take that situation, and you take a person, and you don't know anything about their background in terms of where they live, what their mindset was, and you running through a little questionnaire, and then they pass all the preliminary stuff, and then most of the time people can, okay? And then you run them through the training. Can you run around the track enough time? How fast is your time? How many sit-ups can you do? How many push-ups can you do? Do you know the basic law? I know you don't know it well enough because most of them got a little card in their pocket when they start to Mirandize you. They don't even know that by heart, all right? So then, matter of fact, let me say it to you like this. Depending on some of the churches you are, you got to go through more time to get your preaching license. You got to be on track for a couple of years, 2 years to get your preaching license, but they out in 5 weeks out here with a pistol, okay? Oh yeah, 5 months, 5 months. All right, let me give them their 20 weeks. Now, let's keep it rolling though. So now I got somebody. 9 times out of 10, we find that it is almost always somebody of the opposite race who is the one doing the shooting. Okay? Now, black folks, let me tell you why that is. Because for whatever reason, it ain't one of the jobs we done made even talking to the police seem like it's a bad thing. So you don't see that many, I ain't gonna say none, but you don't see that many young folks graduating from high school or spending a couple of years outside of high school and then deciding they want to go to the police academy. Why? Because we done made dealing with the police, that makes you a bad person. So now think about this now. The conditions are being set so that they will never have enough police officers, so they always going to be taking anybody that can pass the fitness test to get in. And now you're putting them in a community that's not their normal habitat. Okay? Now we say is that they're racist, but let's be clear. If you take a individual and you drop them in the middle of a community that's not like them, they have some reservations. Okay? And it wouldn't matter if you're white or black. But here's where it starts getting worse. The next thing that happens is you a police officer, you got your gun, they done trained you to shoot to kill. Let me be clear with y'all. They do not train to shoot to wound. Okay? And I don't blame them on that. Because you got some of these cases out here where you try to shoot somebody in the leg and they got a pistol too, they probably going to hit you. All right? So let's be fair with them. Now you put them in the environment. They get the call. They in the car, right? And it comes across there from the dispatch that you have a domestic case or you got somebody that's out there acting erratic. Now your adrenaline start flowing. Now you got this person who's already scared because he's working in a community that people that don't look like him. So when they get that call and they race down there and now it's dark outside and he's rummaging around somebody's house and he sees somebody and anything can set him off. Why? Because he already got his hand on the trigger. This officer right here with his ignorant self, he got his hand on the trigger talking about put your hands up. At the same time, he firing off. They said it took 2 seconds.
Right.
I watched the video. Watch it for yourself. 2 seconds. She ain't even have enough time to put her hands up or down. Okay? But we got to look at the conditions that we have established that We got people who are absolutely positively have no business being on the police force. And I'm not talking about the good ones.
Right.
Because there are a lot of outstanding officers out here that are truly protecting and serving. They do stuff in the community. Matter of fact, I think for you to be a police officer, you ought to have to live in the community that you're serving in.
Normally, that's how it is for the sheriffs.
Oh, for the sheriffs? Mm-hmm. Okay. So let's be clear. Now, when you come back to this one right here, I don't have anything negative to say about the system right now, because if they've already fired him, if they arrested him, if he's gotten bail, which I got to understand why he got bail if he charged for murder. But I got to go back and see what the normal law is now. We know clearly that Texas is crazy as all outdoors. They do a lot of strange things. But what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that we research to see what would happen for an individual accused of murder. And obviously, if the person is a police officer, they probably don't have a criminal background. So before we jump off the deep end and say that he has no business getting bail, we're going to find out what would happen to a regular person who doesn't have a criminal record if they were accused of it. If it seems like they got some favoritism, we're going to hit the ground running on it, all right? But if not, let's hold our horses, because it appears right now that they've done everything they should have done in a very rapid period of time if this officer has already been arrested and charged with murder. Because remember, the other one, they made it float out there for weeks and weeks to see what they was going to be able to do. They had marshals handling and all this and this and that. What they have done so far seems like it's in line with what we should expect as citizens. So let's stay posted to it. We ain't going to push it to the side. Let's get back in the game.
Okay, this next one says, Sinclair Show.
What it do?
Last night, me and my mom got into a heated debate because I told her I asked my boyfriend of 4 years to marry me. Stop it.
Go ahead.
She was extremely upset because she said that a lady won't ever stoop or wouldn't ever stoop to ask a man to marry her, and that if he didn't ask me, it's because he didn't really want to, and makes me seem like I'm begging. Sinclair.
What?
I tried to explain that he asked me a year ago, and I wasn't ready then. He told me he wasn't going to ever ask me again.
Okay.
I'm ready now, so I asked him, and he said yes. Why is this the end of the world, and why is my mother talking about she is not going to attend the wedding?
At all.
How can I get her to see it is my life? Sign, my man, my life, my wedding.
Girl, first of all, stop writing me with this ignorant mess. You want to know, why is you arguing with your mama anyway? You want me to tell you why you're arguing with your mama? Because you stupid. Let me just say it as plainly as I can. You about as ignorant as you can get. You want me to tell you what would have solved all this? My little dummy. Let me tell you what would have solved all this. First of all, you know your mama better than anybody else. Why in the Sam Blazing Hills did you... Sam Brown, I wasn't even talking about you right there. Why in the Sam Blazing Hills would you go to your mama, instead of just saying, Mama, I done got engaged, why did you have to go to your mama and tell your mama the dumb details of you asking him to marry you? See, that's what the problem is. Young folk dumb as all outdoors, okay? I'm not trying to help you challenge and go against mama. Mama feels the exact way she's supposed to feel about her little dumb daughter who felt like she needed to go ask her man because the dude told you he wasn't going to ever ask you again because you didn't answer him. Well, look here, little thirsty. Maybe you need to say to yourself, maybe mama was right. Maybe if a man really wanted to marry you, he'll ask you 100 times until you say yeah. Now, I ain't saying that he wrong per se, but you definitely ain't right, and you're definitely dumb as a box of rocks for taking that to mama, because mama don't play that. So I could have been, you should have called me. Look, we got to take a sponsorship break. Sinclair Show, WBISLP. We're going to be back on mama. We ain't going to get to all three. How much time we got?
You can do it.
No, we can't.
Yes, we are.
I don't know. Mike can't.
Yes, you are.
Let me see. What we out here talking about? James said, how do they explain why he shot her? Oh, man, look here. They ain't got no explanation. That's why they went on ahead and charged that dude with murder. You ain't even got to worry about it. Johnny said they said he didn't follow protocol. Absolutely right. Let me see. Minister Angela Easter, glad that you have joined us tonight for the show. But yeah, people, look, on this police situation, one of the things we got to consider is the system is broken in terms of the training. The system is broken in terms of everybody that can qualify to be a police officer should not be a police officer. And until we get to a point where we recognize that our level of desperation to fulfill a police force with just bodies and pistols is going to continue to let us see more and more situations like this. And while we hate the way it sounds to talk about segregation, I bet you if you had black folks that was policing black areas, you would have fewer of these. Just like if you had white folks policing white areas. We always talk like segregation of everything is just so bad. It's not necessarily bad. My people know my people. So I know if I see somebody that's drunk, that it's just old Uncle Jeb, then I ain't got to go up there and tase him or put no pistol on him. Just like when you see white officers who roll up on a white guy who's got an M16 on his back, they don't go in there and take him down. You know why? Not because they racist, but they feel comfortable around him because they see the same thing at the family reunion. So they go up there and they talk them off the ledge. That's what I want you to understand. Let's not turn everything into race. Let's understand what it really is. All right? We're about to get back on the radio. Hold on. You are back on the Sinclair Show, WBISLP, also radio 106.9, the hottest station in the Carolinas. I'm limited on time. It's 8:41. Let me finish this one up. Listen. The one that just wrote the letter talking about she told her mama about she asked her man to marry him and mama mad with her. Lady, let me tell you something. I told you was stupid. You should never tell your mama that you begged a dude to marry you. And talking about he asked me and told me he wasn't going to ask me again. You was dumb for bringing that to your mama because mama don't play that. So let me tell you what you do next time. And there will be a next time because if he wasn't willing to ask you to marry him, you can best believe it ain't going to work. Anyway, that's just my opinion. Next time, tell your mama you just engaged. Don't give her the details because your details was dumb. Holla at your boy. Let me see, JC. Glad to see you. Robin Williams. That's my girl. What it do? Hitting letters.
Okay, this is one we didn't do the other night.
Oh,
Sinclair Show.
Goodness. What is it?
That day marked 3 years since my son was shot and killed in Raleigh. I had a lot of trouble adjusting because there is no closure. The person and or people who shot my son are still out there just walking around as if nothing happened, but it did. The police keep saying that they are still searching for the shooters, but they are blaming it on the community. I raised my child for 16 years, and for someone to snatch him from me at such a young age is the worst feeling in the world.
Okay.
A mother should not have to lure her child into a section of the dirt. Sinclair,
yes.
I know that there are witnesses right here in the same community I live in. Dozens of people have wished their condolences, but no one has come forth with any critical information that could lead to the murderer. Sinclair,
yes.
When will people learn to stop holding information? Signed, Mom still holding on to son's memory.
All right, well, first of all, we definitely send our condolences because I do agree it is never a situation where a parent should have to bury their child.
Absolutely.
Far too often we're experiencing that in our communities. And if there is anything we can do for you, certainly if you need prayer or also if you need somebody to help you to probably potentially locate some resources or whatever, just call 252-756-2008 so we can do anything that's possible. We don't know everybody, but we know a lot of people that we partner with the show, and we can probably move some little stones, if you will. But let me say this very, very quickly. Mm-hmm. People, until we in our own communities, whatever your community looks like, until we banish this code of you don't say nothing, you don't snitch, you don't speak to nobody, how many people are we going to protect that are murderers? How many people are we going to protect that's breaking into folks' houses and doing these kind of things? For this lady to lose her son and for nobody to know nothing and people is outside all the time, Durham stay lit 24/7. Okay, so to tell me that nobody saw anything or nobody won't come forward, people at a certain point, you can stop blaming law enforcement for cases not being solved. You can stop walking past this lady's house, throwing flowers out there and putting cards and offering your condolences. If you really want to help somebody, if you saw something, then you say something. If you're willing to protect a murderer, how long before they come to your house and get your son or your daughter or your mama or your uncle? People, this is on us. We're going to at some point have to take responsibility for what goes on in our community, because all we keep doing is passing blame. And I very rarely hear anybody in my own community blame us for anything. It's like I'm on an island by myself and y'all get mad at me when I tell the truth, but the truth is what it is.
It's true.
Y'all around here protecting these hoodlums, these Negroes with pistols that's walking around selling dope in your community, that's shooting your sons and daughters for a pair of sneakers, that's walking around here breaking and crawling through your grandma's window. Y'all protecting them because you don't want nobody on the block to say you a snitch. Really? I wish I could call you what you really are, but I can't.
That's right.
Because it's against what I believe at this particular second. But if you call me offline, I'll tell you what I think about you. Anyway, look, again, if there's anything we can do for you, we're going to keep you in our prayers. If you want us to pray with you, certainly call 252-756-2008. And if there's anything we could connect you to, the resources in Durham. I was up in Durham working for a long time. I had a very, very good relationship with the law enforcement down there. If there's anything I could do, please reach out to me and let me help you out, all right?
Okay.
Go ahead.
All right, this next one, switch gears a little bit. Dear Sinclair, I would like to get your help with an issue between myself and my pastor.
What?
I've been in the
Y'all, I done told
I
y'all.
have been the church secretary for more than 11 years.
All right.
Recently, we installed a new pastor, and one of his first moves was to replace me, saying that he would be bringing in his own administrative support.
All right.
When he was interviewing, he was flirting with me and asking me about going to dinner, and I told him I was married.
Me Too movement.
He told me that he was too, and that a friendly dinner was nothing more than a get-to-know each other session in the event that we would be working closely together.
Wow.
Now I feel like since I didn't accept a dinner invitation, that's the reason why he's replacing me.
Y'all tripping.
How do I address this issue and get my job or keep my job? I wish I had told someone and or recorded the incident, but I did not. Sinclair,
What?
How do I address the issue, and also what are the steps that I should take? I was thinking about bringing it up in our quarterly meeting, but I do not know if that's the right or correct forum. Please advise. Signed, Vicky.
Lord, help me.
Right.
Look, people, and I'm going to tell y'all why people do this to me. They say to themselves, well, Sinclair is a preacher, so I can hit him up and ask him any old kind of crazy question, and I can bag him in the corner. First of all, let me start by saying this. Anytime you have a feeling that something is not right within your church, all right, the first thing you want to do is, if you have not already confronted the pastor with that information, just go ask him about it, first of all. That's the first thing. Now, let me say some pieces prior to that. Anytime you have a new administration, whether it is at the church, at a business, or otherwise, it is not uncommon for them to bring their own immediate staff in with them.
That's true.
Sometimes they will wait a minute and they will check and see what they have available and how the interaction is. But many times they will come in and bring their own staff. That is not uncommon. So the first thing I want you to understand is, I'm not saying that it's not what you're thinking,
right?
Because I don't have enough information for that. But I will say the act itself of bringing in your own administrative assistant, which is a very, very critical position for a pastor, because that is the person he has to depend on for all, he or she has to depend on for all of their needs. All right. That being said, just like we normally do on the Sinclair Show, I assume whatever is written is accurate.
Correct.
So let me address this letter as if it's 100% accurate. Step one, again, now that you feel like this is a situation where you are being discriminated against because you said you refused to go out to a dinner. You said initially you didn't get any type of proof on it, wasn't no witnesses. My first thing I would tell you is this: when you get ready to go back into the room and speak with the pastor, because you have not said that you got any clarity from him as well. Okay. I do not recall, and if you can remember, Camille, did she say he told her that she was going to get the job or keep it? All right. So right now, in the absence of him verbally committing that you are going to be the person who stayed with him on when he came in, then I've got to say it's a precarious situation to be in. So first, go to your pastor. I would say you want to have a witness based on the level of conversation. If you're just going to your pastor to ask him, is there a particular reason why he doesn't have confidence in keeping you on and giving you an opportunity to show him or her, in this case him, that you are capable of meeting his expectations, at least, and this is at least record it. Okay. Now, that recording may not be admissible in court, but it will give you a sense of, if he goes in there and he says something crazy, you will have it documented. All right. And I say this because whoever you are, you should be treating your staff with a level of respect. Let's start with that.
Right.
So even though most of us don't want to be recorded, if I ain't saying nothing that I ain't got no business saying, it shouldn't matter what. You can come in there with the whole crew if you want to.
Right.
Now, the next piece is this. Based on the answer that you give, that you receive, if he simply says that, look, I want to bring the person that I've had from my prior church with me because they've worked with me along the way on XYZ, then you have to be willing to concede that that is a possibility because it's not uncommon. It's the norm. It's not abnormal.
Right.
Now, you still have the opportunity. You said you and he talked about, he asked you about going to dinner.
Through the interview.
Through the interview.
Mm-hmm.
What interview?
He interviewed her, and while he was interviewing her, he was flirting with her, as she said.
Did she say it was an interview?
Yes.
Okay. So you said you was being interviewed.
Correct.
And during the interview, he asked you about having dinner to discuss whatever. Let me say this as a matter of record, and this is my own, so I don't want no pastors and preachers calling me. I would never put myself in a position by which I ask somebody about going out to dinner with me, because you don't need to go to dinner with me for me to decide whether or not I think you can be a good admin.
That's true.
If he said that, and we're going to assume that he did, he was 100% wrong. Okay? Let's just call that what it is.
Right.
Now, let me give you some choices on how you can handle that. All right? First, if that's what he said to you, and you're no longer comfortable with addressing that issue with him one-on-one, then you've been at the church long enough to know whoever the deacons are, who the mothers are, the maybe some assistant pastors. I would say bringing it up in a quarterly meeting is not going to get you the resolution that you want.
That's right.
Because you want to be respectful of the situation as well. Okay, so my recommendation is, if you have a strong enough relationship with someone else who is either a deacon or a mother, that you go to one of them and you ask them, hey, I need to have this conversation. And you want to do it with some level of privacy, because this is not the business that you're trying to get out all over the church.
That's true.
This is where you're looking for your respect, your dignity. If it happened as if you said it happened, you want some restitution and resolution, being it you keep your job or whatever. But you take it to that person with someone else, and you sit down and you ask for that meeting. And you be straight up about the conversation. This is what was said. You have to take into consideration that this individual is likely to either admit or deny it.
True. Because
you have no witness to it, your truth has to stand on itself. Now, when you go in there to have that discussion, you be straightforward. You don't go in there with your emotions entangled. You let the third party in the room help you navigate the process of the room. And be willing to understand that you may not come out that room with the resolution that you want if there is no witness to it and if you don't have any documentation. But you handled it like a professional, because I promise you this, and ladies, please understand when I say this. If you have a predator in your pulpit, it is going to show again.
Correct.
Okay? If before he ever gets in the pulpit, he's trying to take you out to dinner, he's not going to stop with that one. You're going to see some signs. It doesn't make you feel any better on the immediate side of it. But a predator is a predator. I don't care whether they wear a cloak or not. But make sure you handle yourself professionally, because if you go to the quarterly meeting and you start acting erratic because you want justice, then everybody in that church is going to believe that this is something that you are mad about losing your position. If this is really about what he said, and he said those things to you that you have written, then you handle it like a professional, and you force other people to do their jobs. There's people that this their job in there. Okay? Look, check this out. We're running out of time. This is Sinclair Show. This is what I want you to do. If you need some help with it, call me at 252-756-2008. I can help walk you through it, but you gotta listen. You are at a disadvantage without having any proof of it. It's your word against his. And right now, somebody might already know he's that type of person.
That's true.
Okay? So we wish you nothing but love. You call us in. We're going to help you out. Look, people, we got to go. Love y'all. Thanks for joining the show. This has been the Sinclair Show, WBISLP, Awesome Radio 106.9. We're going to see you on Thursday.
Good night.
Apologize for the letter that we missed. All right, people, look, we got to get up out of here because we deserve some rest too. All right?
Yeah.
We'll holler at y'all later.